Hi, and welcome to What's the Tea and L&E. I'm Leah.
Josh Wykle.
And Josh, I wanted to have you back to talk about something that's come up a lot with employers. You know, childcare is extremely expensive. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We were just discussing that on our own.
It's astronomical. You're paying more in childcare in some places than you are to your mortgage or your rent. So I heard that under the big, beautiful bill, and Josh is a tax lawyer. If you didn't see part one, he talked about a number of different deductions that are now beneficial for both employees and relevant for employers to know about. But there's this other thing that's come about where if an employer is giving an employee money or paying towards an employee's childcare program, they get some kind of tax benefit. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, so in part one, we talked about deductions for tips and overtime pay, which are great. But that meant that we had to include that pay in income and then back it out in the form of a deduction. This dependent care assistance program, however, is an exclusion from income, the best type. So we never have to include it on line one. And within that, to qualify, the employer needs to have a written plan in place.
Like a policy.
Yeah, policy, plan. Speak in tax parlance, but yeah.
Workplace policy.
Yeah, your
HR
policy on your side, I'm playing on mine. But yeah, it's something in writing that doesn't overly benefit highly compensated employees, non-discriminatory testing. Doesn't benefit spouses and children of owners and over 5% owners. Yeah, so some of that, get all that out of the system, but we've got a plan in place, and it's being used for dependents under the age of 13 or spouses or any dependent who has a mental or physical impairment. And that benefit is up to $7,500 a year that we are not including in income at all.
So the employee's take-home pay is to the IRS would look a lot lower, so they'd pay fewer taxes.
Exactly. So this is a benefit the employer is going to be paying directly on behalf of the employee.
Well, I mean, I have a lot of clients that have policies now where employees can apply for like a subsidy or some pay towards childcare or towards like dependent care of an elderly person or something. So is it possible as a benefit to an employee that an employee could opt maybe for a lower salary and up to $7,500 or whatever the exclusion amount is in subsidy pay to get a better tax benefit?
That's an interesting, as long as the employer has the plan in place, yeah, it's an option on the table. So it's nothing they have to go through. It's all negotiable, as you know, on the employer-employee side for compensation. There are some little, nits with it. The plan itself either has to be for direct in-home care. And if it is for a facility outside, it needs to be a regulated licensed facility with 6 or more children. So just some little things to keep our eye on. But for the most part, $7,500 is real money. The flip side of that is if the employee were to do it on their own, they could get a tax credit. Tax credit is not as great as exclusion from income. The credit is after the whole fact, after deductions, after the tax is figured, you get a credit against the tax where you get to take off some of the tax. And the limits there are $3,000 per child, but it's maxed at $6,000.
So you may, instead of an employee going and paying their own salary towards childcare, they could get a better benefit by using an employer's plan or policy, having the employer pay some money, and they actually get the exclusion.
That's right. A family with 3 children is going to be maxed at $6,000 credit out of pocket, and a family with 1 child is going to get up to $7,500 excluded.
Wow.
So
I love this. Thank you so much, because I never really understood the difference between deductions, exclusions, credits. I really appreciate your time, and I know a lot of employers and their employees are going to appreciate this segment as well.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Josh.